They say numbers don't lie, and particularly when talking about a country's economy, the vital figures will always be indicative of whether a nation is doing well or not. To help the country maintain its momentum as one of Asia's fastest growing economies, the Marcos administration will certainly need all the help it can get as far as funding is concerned to make sure government agencies realize all our economic goals, actually have the means to execute and sustain plans that may also lead us to a path that will help us achieve upper middle income status by 2025. To help us make more sense of it all is economist and financial analyst Astro Del Castillo. Good evening, Astro. Thank you so much for coming back to PTV after all these years. Thanks for coming to Up Close. First of all, let's refer back to all these new news items, right? There's a lot of buzz about new figures being changed, but is there an actual consensus within the community of economists and financial analysts that the country's economy is doing really well and, as they say, on its way to being one of the fastest growing in Asia?
Yes. The projection of government is really 6 to 7% for GDP.
Okay.
But us in the private sector, both local and foreign, we're amenable to that.
Okay.
More or less, our forecasts are within range. But of course, some are conservative. Some are looking around below 6%. Like, for example, I think the worst would be around 5%.
Okay.
But again, it's still a better growth compared to our neighbors for this year.
Yeah,
for this year.
Because I understand next year is about 6.5 to 8%.
Correct.
All the way until 2028.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Yeah.
We're banking on that. We're banking on that, considering hopefully the momentum will always be there. No, meaning
Yes.
especially it's a election year, midterm election. So usually it also helps the economy in terms of political spending.
Yes.
So by next year, definitely we think a higher growth will be much possible.
Okay, we have recorded that the country has noted 15 trillion in debt. Does this have anything to do with the GDP adjustment of figures?
Meaning they forecasted a lower figure. Not entirely. Maybe it's part of it.
Okay.
But somehow I think it's a confluence of other factors also. No? The risk of the El Nino, climate change basically. It could be El Nino, it could be La Nina. It will be hitting us, and it's affecting our food security. So I think, and also the global economy is still on a slowdown. So our exports are kind of slow also.
Right.
So definitely, I think these are one of the considerations of NEDA. I wasn't able to really hear them this morning, but I think that's my suspicion.
Yeah, and we also have the ongoing oil crisis and a lot of you know, political issues happening around the country and the globe. So, Astro, to an average Filipino, you know, especially those watching right now, what figures do we need related to the economy that we can pay attention to help us gauge that we are doing really well as far as the financial standing of the nation is concerned? You know, what are the basic things that we should look out for?
Well, of course, the availability of jobs, no? And of course, prices.
Okay, prices of goods.
Prices of goods.
Okay.
So, jobs are available to most of the Filipinos. It's a good indicator. And not only that, you have also more options, no? where to go. No? And as I've mentioned, prices of goods and services is one factor also. It's not good if all goods and services are going up. But if it's manageable because you have a higher disposable income, you have more pesos to spend, then that's a good sign. But if there are risks, very unknowns, another COVID, war in nearby, that's a different tune. So meaning.
It's going to throw those projections out the window.
Yes, our fellow Filipinos will be risk averse. No? They'd rather save than spend, so the economy will be affected. But definitely, going back to your question, it's really prices of goods and services, and of course, jobs.
Availability of jobs. Okay, so as far as the inflation rate is concerned, how do you think this is going to vary as we move towards that target?
Okay, so for this year, government and also the private sector is expecting around 2 to 4%. Some of my colleagues in the private sector are looking a little beyond 4%.
Yeah.
No? But again, considering the climate change, the El Nino, the impact to us, and then the geopolitics, now oil prices are starting to track higher again. Hopefully, we remain at 2 to 4%. It will give room for Bangko Sentral to adjust their interest rates. Hopefully, once the inflation rate is more manageable.
So are country finance experts, you think, are reasonable when they said that we have a 6 to 7% GDP rate? Do you think that it is doable?
Yes.
Do you think that it is manageable?
Yes, I think, well, basically, well, I'm confident, yes, no? Considering that most of us, our forecasts and projections is within that range. No? Some opted for a lower range, but most of us are towards that range. So I'm confident. Not only local analysts or economists, no? But also our counterparts overseas.
Okay, so middle income status by 2028, 2025 rather.
Upper middle income.
Yes,
yeah.
yes. What do you think the country has that would contribute to this based on how our economy is doing so far?
If the momentum of growth will be there, we'll have a higher disposable income. To achieve an upper middle economy, your GNI or gross national income should be around $4,000 plus to around $12,000, $13,000. We're just around 1,000, almost $1,200, $1,500. I think in the coming years, we can slowly track towards the $4,000, hopefully.
Okay.
If all the reforms will really take place, no, and then geopolitics will die down, and then hopefully our own domestic politics will be really focused on the economy. Then I think we'll reach the target eventually.
But you know, seeing as, well, I'm not a finance expert, but you know, whenever the storm season comes, and right now, like you say, El Nino and La Nina and all that, 20 plus typhoons ravage our country on a yearly basis, and this hits the economy really hard. I just think that it's very interesting that our economic managers have foreseen this kind of growth, and it's, you know, dubbed us that be Asia's fastest growing economy. So what can you say about that? Have we truly adjusted to take note of all of that happening on a yearly basis?
Yes, I think you will continue to be surprised that yes, it's part of our projection.
Okay.
Considering that it happens every year. So one good thing is that most companies, no, even the listed ones, are their income is getting better.
Okay.
Tells you something. So even despite all these typhoons, they're doing well. Meaning the consumption and the spending of the Filipinos are getting better. No, so despite this so-called disasters, natural disasters, no, I think we're already used to it.
Okay.
And as businessmen are already usually prepared for that. We have already a budget for that. It's part of our projection.
Okay. So speaking of contingency plans, you know, or speed bumps, what do we need to avoid to make sure that we continue on towards that path of, you know, being one of Asia's fastest growing economy?
All right. Okay. The speed bumps until now would be, of course, bureaucracy.
Okay.
I think the ease of doing business should really be focused upon by government.
Right.
We're getting there. We're gaining ground, especially given the trips of the president. He was the primary salesperson of the country. So I think as long as we can address that ease of doing business, it will help us. No? Second, the so-called the view that about the grafted corruption.
Yes.
We hope we can manage it and we can improve our efficiency so that somehow we can really deliver, no? Not only for the local businessman but also for the foreign investors. No? And then speed bumps would be, I think we should be prepared for this natural disasters. The El Nino, the La Nina, should be prepared for that. And also food security.
Okay.
We've been reminding government that for the past years, food security should really be addressed, no? Especially geopolitics and natural disaster is always hitting the Philippines. No?
Yes.
We should really have a more affordable and accessible to agricultural products, no? Especially food. Food. Yeah.
Or perhaps we could also partner up with more technological advancements to already create equipment that would also help shield us from these natural disasters.
One of the,
I know that's in the works, right?
Yes, that's one of the solutions. But I guess we should no longer politicize the Department of Agriculture.
Okay.
So
Yes.
we have a huge, meaning a good bench of experts, no? Especially the Philippines is one of the educational institutions, no? That our neighboring countries are really attracted to. No? They usually study UP Los Baños.
Okay.
So the seat of agriculture. So hopefully we get our act together and food security will be ensured.
Okay, so you mentioned earlier the president has been making a lot of extremely productive foreign trips, coming into fruition to billions of dollars flooding the economy, worth of investment pledges as well. The president has also been very confident that the Philippines will soon be, I would say, the leading investment hub in Asia. How can we transition and how can the public help our country become one of the premier investment destinations? What are your thoughts about that?
Well, being more disciplined will really help.
Okay.
No? Just to address the general audience. I think by being disciplined, meaning of course this will translate to a better traffic, better bureaucracy. Will be more focused on boosting tourism instead of taking advantage of the foreigners, foreign tourists. Will be more disciplined, will be more accommodating. I think we should also trust government. There are a lot of benefits that government is now really sharing to our people. No? The Pag-ibig Fund, the SSS, the GSIS, they have really expanded their benefits. No? It's a matter of really tapping into them. No? PhilHealth. So most Filipinos who are who are really financially challenged can go to any government hospital. No? And services and the equipments are getting better. No? So I think by helping government really instead of just castigating them in social media
and being averse to
being averse, being negative. No? I think it will help. No? It will help.
Okay. Thank you so much for your time and for your insightful ideas.
Thank you.
Astro Del
Thank you,
Castillo,
Char.
thank you so much.